Hey yo, what's up y'all? This is Big L. The saga continues on this Acadia. I switched out both hubs on the passenger side and the driver side, and it still didn't correct my problem. So now I'm going to replace the little ends, little wiring ends, that actually go into the wiring harness from the wheel speed sensors. The wheel speed sensors are both new, but it goes from the wheel speed sensor, connects to the wiring harness of the vehicle. So on the passenger side, as you can see, this is the new one that I have to connect. This is the old one here that I have to splice it and go into. And here is the connection to the wheel speed sensor. On the driver's side, on the other hand, it's going to be a little bit of a hassle because I have to take the whole air cleaner off, and it's a tight fit. It's not really easy at all to snap in, snap out. But once we get this out of here, then I can get to that wiring harness as well and swap that out. So, wish me luck. Wish me luck. I see you saw the G8 over there, injured. My injured ride. It's all good. But all right, wish me luck. I'm gonna dig into this, take the kids to somewhere, probably go walking, and then come back. But I will give you an update on that in a little bit. All right, deuces. Well, as you can see, I've already used a couple of heat shrinks to put these splices together on the passenger side so far. Basically, you splice your wire and you put them together in here. You see a little metal piece in there. Crimp this down, and then you use a lighter or a heat gun to shrink this plastic down to the wire. I'm not going to shrink these down yet because I want to make sure that they are to the correct wire, if it does matter or not. But I'm going to test drive it like this, see if it works, swap it if it doesn't, and if it still doesn't work, then I know it doesn't really matter, and I'm just going to heat them down. But the frustrating thing is the driver's side. The driver's side, you got to take the air cleaner off, and it just gets stupid from there. The base of this is ridiculous because not only does this little plastic part go in here that gets jammed in, but also there's an extra piece down here that gets jammed in using light, as you can see. So it makes it extremely difficult to move this thing out. So you want to make sure you don't mess up any of your wires or snatch anything apart trying to get this thing out of here, because it's really ridiculous. You don't want to, you don't want to mess up your master cylinder. You don't want to mess up your piece here for your windshield wiper fluid. You don't want to snatch your wires out here. It just gets really, really crazy because there's way too much going on in this thing to just have to take this apart just to get to the wire, which is right up under it. I gotta snatch this up here to really see it, but it's really crazy. So we're gonna keep working at it. I'm gonna move this out of the way and then go ahead and try to splice those wires, get them done too, so I can get it ready for a test drive. Alrighty, still working. Alright. Well, I finally got the base of the air cleaner moved up a little bit. Had to take a few things apart. Now, here is the ABS control sensor going down into the wheel well here. And then here is the part that's connected to the wiring harness. So I got the replacement. I'm going to go and plug it in here and then take this apart, splice it out, and see what we can do. The saga continues. What's happening, y'all? All right, I got everything put back together and took it for a test drive. It still gives me the same codes it's given me before. I checked my blue driver scan tool, and it's telling me that it's still the wheel speed sensor circuit for the right front, so the passenger front. So I'm gonna go take a nap because it's I've been up for a little too long. And when I get up, I'm gonna take the passenger side wheel back off, and I'm going to swap out the wheel speed sensor because I have a brand new one to swap out for the new one that's on there already. If it's not that, after I take it for a test drive again, then I'm really leaning towards it being that connector for the brake control module. So hopefully we'll see about this wheel speed sensor, and if that doesn't work, then I'm gonna have to figure out how much it's gonna be for that connector, because I'm sure you really can't find that connector by itself, especially for a 07 Acadia. And then two, more than likely, I might have to end up purchasing a whole wiring harness. So hopefully that's not the case, but I don't know if I can get that for a fairly decent price, it might be the route, but that's going to be quite an undertaking. But we'll see what's going on. For now, I guess the saga continues. All right, y'all. Peace. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is a update on this Acadia. Well, I got everything buttoned up, drove it around, and I was almost happy because all the codes disappeared on the car, on this vehicle. But driving around, all of a sudden, you know, the traction control light, only the traction control light would flicker on and off. Then after a while, I get the ABS light, it comes on and goes off. Then the brake light comes on and goes off. And when all those come on and go off, you get service park assist, service all-wheel drive off, service traction control, and I think you get one more code. But so now the bad thing is this vehicle is really nothing wrong with it. This is all an electrical issue of a wire somewhere that's probably crimped or probably either cut or whatever, because all these other modules now have been changed. They're all brand new. The ABS control module is new. The body control module is new. It's too many things on here that are new to where we shouldn't be getting these codes at all, period. Now, after all those lights went off, like I said, we started to get them on and off. And now I'm getting a U0121 code of it being lost communication from the transmission, lost communication to the ABS control module. So now I don't know, I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because we really don't have money to keep pouring into this vehicle. We already poured in almost $7,000 into it. Then two, I may take those ends back apart to the wheel speed sensors and redo those again as far as rewiring it, making sure that they're secure. Making sure everything is secure. But like I say, the vehicle, it runs fine, rides fine, drives fine. But really the only main issue that it has right now is with the steering. When we put the new transmission on here, we also put a new power steering pump on it. And now, every now and then, the steering gets real tight, as if you don't have power steering at all, then it's fine again. And then it's stiff, then it's fine. So there's something either in there that they didn't connect or didn't tighten down, or maybe even tighten down too hard, too far. But I'm gonna have to check that out, investigate that and check that. But really, that's the main thing that's wrong with this vehicle. All else, it's just like I said, we gotta button down and figure out what this electrical issue is, or what wire it is, where it's at. Trying to find that is it's a difficult task right now. And really, I don't know if the best thing to do would be to take it all back apart, get a new wiring harness, and go from there. And that might be the route to take. But that itself is going to be a heck of a job. I don't know, it's frustrating. It's been a 2.5, almost 3-year ordeal dealing with this vehicle. And I don't know, it's getting crazy. It all started really at Newcastle School of Trades, but I'm going to actually make a review video on Newcastle School of Trades. Because that's really where I think we could have, if we could have had the time and the proper instructor help when we first took the transmission and everything apart and off the vehicle, and did the major work before we buttoned everything back up, because it ended up being a day class and night class that worked on this vehicle. And at the time, I was in day class by myself, just because there were issues with my job and switching shifts, and they were downsizing and everything else. So it ended up being a little issue with that. So now it's really like we don't know what could have been done better, who was really checking on everything to make sure all the bolts and everything was where they were supposed to be. Might be a ground, you know what I mean? It's so many things that could have been done a little bit better, but we were rushed at the time. So I don't know, it kind of sucks, and trying to figure this out now sucks, but we're blessed because this is like an extra vehicle, and at the moment, so it's not like this has to be done right now today or it's a detrimental issue. But I would like to get this thing finished and be able to unload it, but unload it knowing that it's all right, and nobody's gonna have an issue with it, everything else. So I don't know, it's a little frustrating because all the lights were good, and then now we're back where we started again. Same thing as before. Put money and time into something, and then you think it's done. It should be done because everything's new on it, but you may have to spend a wiring harness. Could run anywhere from $300-400 on up to $1,500, depending on which one it is and how much of it is. It might be even more than that. And it's really crazy to try to spend that much money on an 07 vehicle with 150,000 miles on it. So, I don't know. Well, that's it for now. I'm going to work on my beast. I got that 07 Yukon Denali XL. It doesn't need anything. I'm just going to put some fog lights in the front of it and wire up some fog lights. That's the next project. And then the main project after that is my 09 Pontiac G8. Love that little car, but it needs a timing chain, and also I hit a deer last year, right before we had to come here to Ohio, to Missouri. So it needs a front bumper and a couple other things. No major damage to it at all, just all cosmetic. So I was very blessed on that. But it does need a timing chain, so it's another thing, another vehicle sitting. I also have a 99 Expedition that needs an engine, because we blew that engine a few years back, so it's just been sitting waiting to be worked on. It's going to need a few other things since it's been sitting so long. I also have a 2000 GMC Sierra that it doesn't need a lot of work to, it doesn't need a lot of mechanical work to it. Most of it is cosmetic as well. Because when I bought it, I got a really good deal on it, and really I have made all that money back on the vehicle. But I can't talk. But it needs a few things. So we got projects to work on, especially since we're quarantined. You know what I mean? There's a few things that we can do, or I can keep myself busy on. It's just a matter of money-wise. So I don't know if anyone wants to donate to the cause. We got parts, or actually, if you want to send me parts to review for my vehicles, we can get that bolted on. And if anyone has a 6.2 liter V8, want to drop in my Pontiac G8, I mean, I would love to have one of those. That's the goal, really. But we'll see how everything works out. But don't Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe,